Hello.
Yeah, I'm doing the thing again, pretending that we actually do this. I don't even get the... Yeah, there we go. There's the little spray thing. There's 3 of us again. The same 3 that recorded minutes ago, but for whenever this comes out, if it's in the public, hi, is Patamon banned yet? We're not talking about colors this time. You already know. I don't even know why YouTubers do this. They're like oh, what's the topic gonna be? You already know. You clicked on the video. We're talking about the best 3 and maybe 4 memory you can spend in the Digimon card game. With some asterisks, if you haven't seen part 1 of this, if you can sell that it costs 3 memory, it's a valid thing. We saw a card that does not say 0 on it. Cost the best 0 memory in the last one. You should really check that one out. It's good. This one is going to be a lot of fighting, I think.
I anticipate this being tough. Once we start getting, there are some numbers, right, where like certain breakpoints come through, where like value gets tough to quantify. I went back and watched the last one. We didn't mention digivolving. Like nobody was like, oh yeah, evolving for 1, or like evolving for 2. Yeah, yeah, because like conceptually, I suppose you would have had to spend to have put the first thing down. But I was like, wow, hybrid for game didn't even get a mention at Big Memory. So, yeah. Tom, it's gonna just be baseless accusation. It's awful. I have some suggestions for 3 and 4 already. If you guys are interested in starting there,
it's interesting because I don't even know how to format this. Because like normally we do like the thing where we like top 5, but we're not watchmojo.com. We're not pumping out top 5s like outside Xbox.
We could though. I would love to make top 5s. Top 5 Agumons.
I mean, you joke, but if that's what people want to see.
Oh my God! Please, this is some like now that we're behind the paywall curtain, at least temporarily. Y'all remember this is my shout out to my fellow North American viewing audience. Do y'all remember Animal Planet's Most Extreme? Was that a thing? Do you guys have Animal Planet here?
We had like Deadly 50.
What the what?
Deadly,
no, hang on.
Deadly 50. It was like a nature show with. It was some English version of like, not even Bear Grylls. It was just the guy that just loved dangerous animals. You know. Like,
no, Most Extreme was tight because it was like really bad early 2000s CG graphics of
Deadly
animals
60,
having like
bad.
Deadly 60. That sounds like an hour long like horror movie. Anyway, Most Extreme, not irrelevant, but it was like everyone's like dopamine into like top 10s, which was tight. So everybody like Animal Planet's top 10 the most extreme venomous snakes, and it's like number 10, the taipan, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing here. We're doing this crap. That's just Bear Grylls. That's not a bootleg of Bear Grylls.
It's Steve Backshall.
Sorry, that's Steve Backshall?
Yeah, that's Steve Backshall.
I'm telling my friend Bear that somebody should be doing something about this because his likeness is in jeopardy.
Yeah, this guy, it's just the whole thing of like deadly things. That's why I learned about the poison dart frog. Man, did you know they were illegal to own in so many places for obvious reasons?
Yeah, actually, that makes sense because they're poison.
Yeah, they'll drop an elephant.
Oh God. You guys remember Digimon?
I've heard about it.
Skull Mammothmon.
My pick for one of the worst ones they made. No, I have some sincere actual suggestions for the best ways to spend 3 memory. Are we ready?
All right.
Okay. All right. In no particular order, we can break them down point by point afterwards. But for 3 memory, I would like to float the options to suggest BT1-112 Dimension Scissor. I would like to suggest BT497 Kari Kamiya. I would like to suggest BT598 Meteor Shower. I would like to suggest BT11 061 Veemon. I'd like to suggest BT10 110 Seiken Mappa. Or Meppa, excuse me. And I'd like to suggest EX256 Takato Matsuki.
You know what? I went through most of this Seiken. How is second spelled?
You spelled it Sekian like a dragon.
It's Sekian. It's Seiken.
Seiken.
Yeah, there you go.
And then 1K.
Yeah, 1K.
Hi, we're the internet comment section. You spelled that word wrong.
Actually.
Actually, it's 1K in Seiken.
Oh yeah, you're right. What's the BT? What was the last one? The Veemon?
Joke's on you. It was actually EX2 56 Takata Matsuki.
All right, these are all solid picks for Hall of Fame 3 costs. I look forward to this list getting much larger.
Yeah. These are just my first thoughts when I knew we were recording Boko today. There are more. I'm sure as we go through this, I'll be like, I can't believe I forgot blank. But purely in terms of just like degenerate, silly value, these are the ones that jump to mind first. I want to talk about some of the ones I didn't put on here, if it's all right with you guys first.
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to so badly include Eiji Nagasumi and Satsuki Tamahime and Henry Wong, all of the start of your main phase gain a memory guys, because they feel like the most generic way to gain memory for a 3 memory cost tamer.
Yeah.
I also wanted to include Genai, because it's kind of hard to quantify promoting something on counter timing step.
But
he's whack, and he's not a really particularly good card outside of the one deck that can abuse Genai.
Also, if you're going to spend 3 memory on a white tamer...
Yeah, there are other white tamers to use.
There's a specific other white tamer you could be playing.
Hina Kuri...
Yeah.
Exactly. Dragon Link Slayers, where are you at?
There's Digimon Emperor, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Digimon Emperor
and
or
Louis.
Louis. Yeah, I was actually leading that question with Digimon Emperor, and I realized that this joke actually was dangerous because there was multiple options. So I mean, do we put Louis on
But this
there?
is just the ones that I put down first. Like, I sincerely, like, there are so many rookies in the game that cost 3, so many options that cost 3. Like, this is the question was spending memory, right?
Yes.
So like, what are you getting for spending the memory? So, I mean, how much do the what's it called cost? Like, some of the craziest level 6 evos cost 3. There's, I don't know, there are points where it's like looking at the context of like why a card sees play is important. But purely for the purposes of what we're doing here, we're talking about the best like quantifiable number. So
can I interrupt just 1 second just to sort of like introduce a little bit of a prerequisite? If the card that costs 3 can be played out for not free, I mean, you physically don't move the memory gauge by 3 and then, I don't know, gain that memory back as a result of doing it. Is that still spending free memory?
Ginger James put Reaper down as his best 0 cost spending memory. So you can definitely do things that reduce their cost to recoup their cost.
We're on like level 1 Yomi where we look at the play cost. Tom bringing up the Digivolve cost already throws a massive wrench into this, but there are other things like, in theory, what, Blitz Jasmar costs 4 to Evo?
Yes.
But does it?
No. It costs 3 because there's a Master Disciple on the board.
Yeah, like 2-card combos technically counted. We did have some like, I think the more memory we give, we're gonna go off the rails.
We said MDF as well. Like MDF was a 0, but like you need a white source. So like there were layers to that.
Yeah, so like if you could justify like, if you could give me like the blueprint for, especially if it's not like a weird combo, if it's like accepted like this does this in one chain and it costs 3 memory, that's.
I forgot one off my list. We had one more.
Go on.
I forgot BT 891 Willis. He was the last. I literally.
Oh yeah, he's good now.
I skipped a bullet point. He was always just good. He was just a greedy value card when the game didn't need greedy value cards.
I'm gonna disagree there. I actually think he was kind of bad.
Really?
Yeah, I thought this guy was mid as hell.
3. Like
he did always cost 3, but within the context of spending 3 memory, the things he does is good.
The thing is though, you never spend 3 for Willis.
No, but we're not talking about within the context of a game. We're talking about this is why this is difficult. Because when I've already sort of spoiled this. We're gonna talk about 4. Yeah. No, go ahead.
The counterpoint there is that terriermon wasn't very good back in VT8 or EX2.
No, you're right. I agree. Like, I'm not gonna knock the card not pop. Like, it wasn't in a converting list. It didn't perform. But for what you're getting out of 3 memory, it's a hatch and potentially infinite number up to a number of cards that you draw. So it's, you need a terriermon. Sorry, you don't even need the terriermon. It just needs to go into Gargo or Rapid. So that's one card from hand and one card off the top for drawing for evolution. So this 1/3 memory guy gives you an egg and potentially 25 cost of reduction.
Yeah.
Like that's the infinite value space we're in. Like when I was saying a second ago, it's like when we get to 4, like how the heck do you quantify a mem setter? It's like a near infinite number of memory in an infinite game, right? Like if you're playing Setcon and have Avenged Kid Lament, like that number is literally infinity. It is infinity up to 50 minutes game time.
Yeah, I think the context of like how the card is used is still important though, because I think I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen a Terrier player actually pay 3 for Willis. Like Willis is a 1 cost extender that requires an extra piece. Otherwise he stays in hand or gets hit out of security. Like I've never seen someone go, damn bro, I will spend 3 and do this.
I've seen terriermon players look at me all smugly when they low pass me to 1 with a Willis.
All right. Trix, what are you thinking as the actual authority on Willis usage?
I think paying 3 for him is fine, because you don't always get access to... Hatching an egg is amazing, but you don't always get the chance to do it. So sometimes you do have to just go either with back play Willis for free, because the cost reduction does matter later in the game. I think for the context of terriermon, he's probably the... Well, no, because Double Typhoon exists, so that's free memory. Oh, okay, can we put Double Typhoon down, actually? Because I think that's...
Yeah, I don't know why. Again, like, I haven't even put mem boosts on here. Like, these are just the cards that I thought prompted enough of a discussion.
Yeah. Like, Double Typhoon isn't just particular to terriermon or Lotmon decks. It's just if you run them, you also get the benefit of the delay effect. Double Typhoon reads, if you are playing a green deck, pick up a green Digimon and a green Tamer. Incredible. For free memory, you get potentially +2 cards, and you're refunding that memory immediately by playing a terriermon or Lotmon.
It's good.
Yeah. Do you remember we were talking about like it would be really cool to have another Kalumon that facilitates warp? And it's like, what an awful text block that would be. This is proof that they just wouldn't do it. Kalumon would just say, yeah, let a fucker warp if he can warp. If you can ignore Digivolution requirements, do so.
That would be sweet. It's tough though. Like, I mean, part of what makes this so difficult is that, like, you know, this card is incredible for 3 memory, but like, you can kind of quantify how much you get out of Double Typhoon. Like, the cost of searching the top 3 is something other cards can do. Like, we now have the new double color mem boosts that do that for 3 memory. They search the top 3 for 2 colors. This searches top 3 for Tamer and Digimon, which is not 2 colors, but is sort of functionally 2.
Yeah,
two
like
targets.
you've got Demon Wolf and NCIS that do it as well.
Yeah, and then when this spits out a Terriermon or Lotmon, and I believe the most expensive of either of those is there's a 4-cost Lotmon, right? So
sure.
Conceptually, oh no, Lotmon, yeah, Lot X is.
It doesn't count. You
Yeah,
can't.
he's not Lotmon, so he doesn't count.
I don't know
So
if
then
like one of the
most
purple
expensive-
ones is a 4-drop, but I doubt it.
No, I would like to correct my statement. No, Lotmon X is 3 anyway. What am I talking about? What was the 4-cost Lotmon?
The yellow one?
Or the recovery one? No, that one's a 3-cost as well.
Is there even a 4-cost Lotmon? Maybe just...
No, I'm bugging. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I might have been thinking of the old Terrarium.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Yeah, even the Seekers one. All of them cost 3. So the card costs 3 and gives you a 3-cost dude, and then you get the Shoch on top. So it's essentially cheating 6, right? Or it's 3 for +3, so it sort of cheats 6 over time. It's very good. I'm not gonna knock Double Typhoon. But MDF it ain't. You know what I mean?
I mean, is any card MDF?
Well, that was what I thought. When I came into the first one of these, I was like, MDF is bound to be the one for 0 memory. And then James was like, well, yeah, but like Reaper is... It's GG. You win the game.
Very rarely. Like, things have to go catastrophically wrong. Like, the Mandala network has decided that you're being disconnected from this astral plane if you lose when Reaper hits the field.
Yeah. So I will give... I definitely think I should have... Double Typhoon is a great pickup. I can't believe I forgot about the card. It is nuts. There's just so many good ones.
As well. When, sorry, were you finishing a point?
No, go ahead.
Decoy Blanc.
That's a good pick. Ooh,
Like,
I mean, Decoy is crazy, actually. We haven't had Decoy on here yet. Like, ooh. decoy represents as much memory as whatever it protects, right?
True.
Yeah. Famously, it can get you a top 8.
Play for free off of Jessmon stuff. Also, it just goes in any deck, right? It just, well, I say any deck, but any purple deck, basically.
It's Destiny Draw is what this Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent is, right? Pitch 1, draw 2.
Draw.
Yeah, it's a good card.
It costs 1 less than Raremon to be not color, and that straight up doesn't matter most of the time.
In fact, right now it's beneficial because it's being a white source has never mattered more than ever.
Yeah, it is very good.
Yeah,
that's a good pick. I really like that. Let's see. So the Sistermons are all good like that. They are all resource ed crewing. So like I imagine we're gonna talk about the CL in a little bit when we talk about a different number down the line. But
the problem is this. So yeah, I mean this. I'd argue the Evo CL is going to be more relevant because if we're going to talk about the memory CL, we should be talking about it now because she comes down for 4 and gains 1 straight away. So that is a 3-cost card.
Yeah. I hear you. I also think that if I was choosing to spend the 3 memory, I would choose to play in the context. Like if we're applying the context to it, the pitch 1 draw 1 CL with decoy is the stronger thing that costed 3 of this 2, with the exception of their extremely specific combo applications. And then if I was going to pick a CL, I'd obviously pick the Evo one because she's from Space Broken, dude. Card is incredible. I will say one of the other ones that I think is tough is that like when you get to the point where you're assessing tamer cards or like anything that like can accrue direct returns on memory. So like, you know, delay effects are all really good for that, like Mem Boost or Double Typhoon. Tamer cards that can passively accrue memory are all very powerful. Ones that have like more infinite and passive value are like crazy. So like even among the ones I've picked, not all of them are created equal. So like I said, I wanted to talk about like AG and Satsuki, but they require your opponent to have a Digimon. I also said Akari, but like you might not always have security. Louis can only do it up to the amount of Digi-Eggs you can promote. So there are conceptually points where these cards don't just produce free memory infinitely, but I think like comparing them to each other, some of them just from a like literal card game value game get so good that it's like, how do you like Matt and Ty from BT6 are the bond tamers, man. Like they do some stuff. So it's a tough one for 3 memory,
and it's like instant value versus like perpetual value, right?
Yeah, but like when you look at tempo, I mean, like what is tempo worth in a assessment in like this? Like is you know, part of what makes the Willis a pick was that he represents just incredible tempo because spitting him out for 1, getting an egg, and then getting the memory later is like nuts. It's what makes the green tempo package work so well with the terriermon stuff. The opposite end of that is Mireille from the like 5-cost one. We aren't talking about her right now, but like she's like a no cost get a memory, and then she's just upside when you do a thing. There's no prerequisite in any capacity, and there's no like sequence that you need to play around. Like, you know, if the Willis comes down at the wrong time, you don't get the egg sometimes. That's not what we're assessing. We're not assessing the context, but we're like, when you look at tempo versus value, like that's where we're at. Yeah,
context can matter a little bit though, because I guess it helps justify.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think there are when you get to some mechanics like that though. So like. One of the ones I was trying to do a little idea for this after we had this conversation at Locals on Wednesday, and one of the cards I was like, oh, he's legitimately impossible to quantify is BT14 Joe, because he's on play, trash any Digivolution, and then gain a memory when something is trashed. So he could be pay 3, get 6 if you trash an Ace Overflow.
Yeah.
Like there are some things where it's like he could be anything, and it can happen continually because if your deck is stripping sources, it'll just go forever until your opponent's out of cards. So there's a lot of silly stuff we could do with 3 memory. That's why it gets tough.
Yeah.
I'm willing to relent on it at a certain point. If you guys think we have a concept that matches up, like if delay I personally think Double Typhoon is maybe the strongest of the 3-cost delay options. From value.
I was actually about to throw a spanner in the works. Tom, I'm not sure if you had anything before that, before I send us down the delay rabbit hole.
There's one card that's on my mind at the moment. How are we quantifying damage? Because
I'm
ultimately,
so glad you said this.
you can print as much memory as you want, but the game ends when your opponent has no security and an attack. Direct attack is declared, right?
Yep.
So if we're thinking damage is like more quantifiable than just memory, I'm not saying not Shoto,
Okay.
but Shoto is like kind of
In the ballpark.
He's the antithesis of what you're about to say.
it's not what I'm about to say, but he does fall under where this card. It's BT11 Pangeamon evolved.
Ooh.
Oh, the giving
Because-
rush? That's cool.
Yeah.
So you evolve Pangeamon, play a 4-cost green tamer. You play out Daiken,
Yep.
and Daiken reads unsuspend a 2-color Digimon when it evolves, right? So that, in theory, means you play out Daiken, you, at some point later in the game, have a Digimon that swings as a 2-color green Digimon, then evolves and unsuspends, and you keep turn and you swing again. Also, Daiken prints memory on top of that.
The
That is pretty
Pangemon
nice.
is such a huge tempo swing. It's like one of those immediate value, like, damn, that 3 memory did what?
Yeah.
Or
And you also play Shoto if you want to.
yeah, you can play Shoto. I mean, play Mimi is the one that feels the worst, because
Also,
suddenly you now fulfill the Mimi requirement. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
got a level 5. Guess I'll hatch. Hatch, full combo. Yeah, that's a really, really good one. We did say that Evo costs were going to make things really difficult, because some of these 5s are from hell.
Yeah. The last category that was in the original video that we have not what's it called? We have not included here at the 3-cost bracket is that we haven't included floodgates that represent certain amounts of memory prevented.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about mem blockers or anything here. There are some things you can do like that. I would like to specifically highlight emergency program shutdown.
We scrolled past it when we were talking. I was like, yeah, emergency is gonna, that's... I love, like, you do research before this video. I love coming into it blind because I just see cards and go, wow. Yeah, that is...
Well, I just watched the last one again, to my own credit. I didn't do too much research.
Yeah. This... Imagine bugs were on this. They were like, no, playing Shivamon. It's like, no.
Yeah,
Play
I only
emergency.
lose Digivolve Tamer.
Yeah. Yeah, this...
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like between Digimon options, Tamers, and bullshit otherwise, like, there are very few things that are as consistently splashable as, like, efficient 3 memory plays, because 3 is the number that Digimon is balanced around, right? Like, your mem setter sets you to 3, so you can play a full cost card. There are some messed up cards you can play.
I do really like this pick as just making it, like, making it to the list of we have to think about this later.
Okay, if we're thinking about stuff down the line, I personally, I put it separately on my own. I don't think it's as strong as the ones we have already mentioned, because it's not technically, like, I think the delay options are on average stronger. But Awakening of the Golden Knight and the Miracle Digi-Egg both also do stupid things for 3 memory. And they will get better linearly as the game improves, which is something to think about. Which is why I put Meteor Shower on here. But Meteor Shower, like, hypothetically, is even more memory stealing than Awakening of the Golden Knight.
But it just doesn't make anything.
It just doesn't do anything right now. But I just thought that was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
I will relent to you guys on this one. I do want to go to bat once for my boy, which is that Blitz Tocado represents memory up front for popping something, and Blitz for game is how much just winning the game cost. So
oh, the scrambles cost 2? Oh, they missed their time. Okay. Yeah.
well, the scrambles cost 1, right? Because you refund by 3.
Yeah, but not when you spend it.
Sure, that's true.
Yeah, I thought the scrambles costed 3.
They're broken cards.
Yeah, no, they're dumb. All right, never mind.
That's why Sakuyamon cheats with them.
They missed their shot.
The scrambles cost 3 if you evolve 4-cost Digimon.
True.
Sure. So I guess if you scramble into your Mega, then you're paying 3. But why are you scrambling into your Mega? Why do you not have resources already? I don't think. Yeah, I think like I had that in the back of my head based off of the misconception that they cost more than they do. I've got this open because this allows for Digivolutions. Are there any other Digivolutions that cost 3, like these level 5s or I guess cheap level 6s that we're like forgetting about?
Specifically 3-cost Evos.
Yeah.
That's a toughie. I mean, like, so my inclination here is to look at like the really screwy like alternate Evo cost evolutions.
Ooh.
Like some of those can get really powerful for their fixed cost. But in terms of generics that I immediately can tell you are powerful enough, there are. Let me try to think of like Sakuyamon was one that my brain immediately went to. BT5 Sakuyamon is, if it is unanswered, it is a floodgate on everything that ever comes out of the breeding area. I think like infinite repeatable effects become very powerful within the context of like what do you get for 3. So like obviously she's probably not going to survive forever, but in a world where Sakuyamon survives for 2 turns, how much is security attack -6 collectively worth to you?
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for that.
Oh, you were thinking that one? I was thinking EX2 because like that's 3 cost answers.
She's amazing, yeah, but like she is. I mean, I suppose she is sort of also infinitely repeatable.
Yeah.
This is where it's wild too. One of the other ones is Armageddon for 3. If we're looking at evolutions, he famously just straight up solos level 7s, and that's a funny one to do. Also, he has Rush. You can drop him for 3, so you can evolve into him for 3. You can pop a token and drop him for 3. He's a great 3. And I found one on my bulk recently, so I was very excited.
Ooh, Mamemon's a good hit as well. That's a 3-cost Evo that.
Oh, that's a great one.
That gotchas into anything.
How much is the top 5 worth? Oh, dude, we forgot about Digicross. That there are no 2-cost and 1-cost Digicrosses that are consistent, right? But like, I just realized we forgot about Digicross.
How much does Cross 4 cost?
Cross 4 costs nothing when you did it correctly. That was the frustrating part.
Right.
It costs 1.
Well, like,
yeah, Zenduro, right?
Yeah. The 3-cost Digicrosses I were thinking of were Dark Knight and Metal Greymon.
Oh god, please, yeah, shit.
Metal Greymon is a real one. I don't think that.
But if you pop a tamer, it's infinite memory steal. The numbers, Andrew, they're all lining up.
That's what, BT10?
BT10, yeah, for both of them. Well, yeah, sorry, the Dark Knight is also BT10 Dark Knight. I had to think about that for a sec. There are a couple Dark Knights that are just like randomly in odd sets. Good times. 3-cost Evos, dude. How much can you Digizorb stuff down? Let me think. Nah, they would have all cost nothing. The Tyrannum, nah, he's kind of troll. Even I'm not gonna pretend.
Promo Davis should probably go on there as well. Not sort of to divert away from. Oh, I've just seen Cargo Drum as well.
Oh, come on.
Promo Davis really does read player Veemon, so there's your free memory. You also like regional media, and then gain 1 every time you have a free Digimon type out, which you're playing Magna 9 times out of 10 do.
You know, if you're playing Magna, Imperial.
Also, each one's free. What?
Yeah, those cards are fantastic. That's a great pick. I mean, those are, I think, maybe even better than all the start of main gain 1 guys that I was thinking of, because they are on your own stuff. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And he triggers his own condition, which is nuts.
Yeah, and it means if your opponent's not playing on board, you can play. But obviously, if you get cleared, it gets turned off. But if you get cleared, that's, you know, your problem.
Killed it.
I got smoked by a good buddy and friend of mine, friend of the show, Emelini, this week at Locals, because I last checked at Davis and it spat out of Veemon, and then I died for it because that put them to the number of memory they needed to kill me. It feels bad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Davis. Nice friends you got there, Davis.
It's so fun every time.
Oh, dude, Impmon, BT4 Impmon, like mill 3. Depending on what you mill, they are the craziest cards you could ever have.
I'm going to stop you right there. That never dies in security. It's always got jamming.
Yeah. Starter deck Impmon is probably a better one, because not only does he cost 3 to drop, but when he warps, he's always 3 cost.
That is true.
So when you evolve it for 0 in the back
position.
and push out because they couldn't ruin mode you, that's 3 memory that's... 3 memory into whatever you need the board state to look like.
Yeah. Dude, it's so tough.
Do we just hard cap the list after we put Zudomon brackets evolution? No, because nobody pay. You're not paying for Zudomon, let's be real. You're dropping that bitch for 4. or evolving for 0.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is impossible. Sincerely impossible.
Should we try and narrow it down to 10? And then 5, then 3?
I'm up for that, but I will relent. I have ideas, but I feel like I have no system by which we can rank some of these. That's the problem. Like, if your opponent's got an infinite board of Diaboromons, Dimension Scissors infinite attacks. Like, it literally had to get patched out of the game with its infinite loop, right? Like, it's banned in certain things.
Is it?
Wasn't it banned at Community of, like, the Dimension Scissor Grandest stuff? Didn't that get hit for, oh my god. It's 15 feels like it was 800 years ago now. It was some community circuit event, doesn't matter. But yeah, Grandest, like, Dimension Scissor with that guy. Oh, wait, there's like infinite memory loops that you can do with 3 memory that are now, because of them, on the ban list. I'm just realizing.
Oh, what, with the...
Like Lightfang Nightclaw, plus
Galaxy
the,
Loop?
like, Warriors... Yeah, Galaxy Loop, Warriors Digimon, Dimension Scissor. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do for 3 memory that is infinite memory.
Okay, but is it the best free you can spend? Because I think...
No, you're right. Phrasing it that way does change it.
Yeah, printing infinite memory is all well and good if you do something with it.
That is a good point. Great question.
Like,
I'd like to toss another card in there, because it was hit on the ban list and it's recently come off. BT6 Savior Hookmon.
when we scrolled past him, I thought about, I was like, is he gonna bring it up?
I'll bring it up now. I mean, he costs 3, but then plays a body for 0, plus whatever inherits you have, and then he also represents damage, which again, if it's the best free memory to play the game, that free memory is probably best spent doing damage twice in one turn.
Okay, well then for that, can I give you Beast Cyclone? Because that's exactly the reason that card saw play.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is like anything that does the, because it's like you said, right? Like if your thing needs to do 2 for 1 for an efficient line, like what is more efficient than lethal?
Yeah. Especially when it's like a flashbang as well. Like, Beast Cyclone feels unreactable. Like, they're either on it or they're not, and if you don't know what it does, it's like, it's one of those, like, you could pass a Diaboromon player a little too much memory because you didn't know that from 3, your life ends now.
Did Zubagon make the cut at 2?
It came up.
Talk about it? Okay, then I feel like this is a very similar question.
Because I think we talked about Joust and Atomic, but they were like a bit too specific.
God, Atomic Inferno should have been way higher ranked at 1, dude. What a card.
What's the 3 Great Angels option called again?
What, the Dimini Slide Final Excalibur?
Yeah. How much does that cost?
Oh no.
Yep, that needs to go on there.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a good pick. Damn, dude, that's a great call. Let's suspend all. It's so wild.
Yeah, that is like a
so bonkers.
card protagonist Vanguard card. And now, because there have been 4 attacks at the end of attack.
I forget how we do these. Do we only do cards available in English?
Yes, we're not putting the Liberator option on here.
I was gonna say Fist of Athena is pretty crazy, the Lord Knight taunt, but that's different.
No, that will get its shine when we finally get around to purple/black option cards of all time. Right after the orange one. Oh.
This is a good list.
Oh,
no, because
it has to go on there.
Yeah, but the problem is the 3 memory you're doing doesn't, like...
It doesn't immediately, like, this is the same with the Tamer cards, right? Like, his thing is just all at once you spend it to get everything.
And the thing is, you tend to Evo him in the back, right? Like, you Evo him in the back, and then you push up and you do the thing.
Yeah, his OTK is, like, technically speaking, when you swing him that many times, how, like, the number for the Weregaruru OTK that's now dead was, like, a printed 12. Like, I've seen purple Karis print 12 before. Just not all in one turn.
Yeah, I think this guy does, just because you're just evolving a 5 in the back, which, you know, a bunch of these cards could be. We won't lie that obviously the follow-up turn is crazy, but like you are very rarely actually going, okay, evolve for 3 start combo, unlike Savior. You know, it is in the interest of making headway, we're closing.
All right, good call.
Closing
good
card
call.
out.
Good call. Can I throw out that I think Sakuyamon was not the right pick? I think if we're gonna do infinite value cards, they have to be cards that are more under your own control. So that's my 2 cents.
You know what? From the list she goes. Excellent. Anyone else got any lukewarm feelings about... What the fuck?
If I was gonna choose a Jesmon card, I was wrong to have picked Seiken Meppa. I think Tom was correct about Sister Mont Blanc, personally speaking.
Yeah. All right. And then it's gonna be Blanc versus Savior. But first, explain to me the Veemon pick.
I would love to. So Veemon represents. So let me talk to you about Veemon here, because he's a unique one. Because this is the first time we looked at what's it called, Searcher, right? When we were talking about the best way to spend 1 memory.
Yeah.
And Searcher was essentially a like just draw 1 for 1, and we could quantify that with a certain amount of value. 1 card for 1 memory is worth 1. Like that's the way you can look at that. It's the cheapest way to do that too, despite having situational upsides or downsides depending on the deck. Veemon is nothing but upside in its own archetype. So if we're going to talk context, this is why it matters. The reason Veemon goes in here is because for 3, he has an infinite number of turns to go main, add another Veemon. And because you're playing 50 of them, eventually Veemon can get to the point where no matter what evolution you're doing, it costs nothing. That was my thought.
It's like a 3 memory investment.
On its own, 3 memory, yeah, it's like a 3 memory loan that gets bigger every turn.
Interesting.
And it can play through almost every, like no matter how much debilitating memory steal your opponent might have, like if you've got enough reduction, you can play through any of it. So I thought that was something worth considering, because they are unique in that they are both uncapped by their deck quantity that you can play and uncapped by their synergy of like working with each other. Like Eosmons are like, I guess hypothetically more damage with like, how much does the green Eosmon cost to evolve into? Or the white level 5? It's like 3 Evo, right?
I don't know. I only see idiots drop it.
Well, so like Johnny Give It Rush Kurosari stuff is very funny, and like that's his big thing. And like I guess that is also lethal, but like my point was that like this is the most self-contained package of just like pure resource advantage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm willing to cut it because it's probably too slow. Like again, like if we're gonna have to provide some context to these things, to just like raw infinite value stuff can't stay forever.
It also has to make it back to you. Like it's a loan that is sitting out in the open and is like, you know?
Oh, sitting sideways at that. I won't even lie. Like it's they suspend themselves to do their thing. Although sometimes that's good.
I did Danganronpa murder 2 things whilst the list was gone. If you can't figure out what they were, they probably weren't worth keeping.
True. You can take the Veemon out. I'm good with that.
I'm glad that we got to fight his case though. We've got some real stinkers on here. Some of them are obviously like context based. Like the Mac Galgamons are all uniquely really interesting. Right now, Mirage's best 3 memory in the game is either Thomas H. Norstein, or I'm becoming unblockable for the turn.
Thomas! He's 3 memory, draw a card. You're right, my bad, bro. Yeah, he's 3 memory, draw a card, and then he represents an unsuspend, which is just like the number on that is nuts.
Yeah. But also become unblockable and not lose to Magnamon. That's a lot. That 3 memory that is a lot of value. Was why the Mac Galgamons were on here, because they're all uniquely stupid. But I'm willing to kill all of them and just put Thomas here for the future
The
fighting.
thing is, but then we go back to the problem with Tamers, where I don't actually think he's the craziest 3 memory Tamer.
No, he is just... Yeah, he's just a problem with Mirage. Mirage has famously never done anything in our region.
Never done anything wrong.
I was like trying to single out Methyl Greymons, like for the same reason. Is it like kind of like Thomas, where it's the blue deck that bullies, but is this the best 3? But
it also occurs to me that we might have been better picking a Floodgate to represent what's it called, Digicross. Like Psychmon hypothetically stopping you reducing 20 play cost Death X's is very funny.
I'm glad you
Yes.
brought that up because I feel like a lot of some of these cards are going to come down to, in terms of ranking them, how much memory do you lose off a floodgate, right?
Because that is how you spend the number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why shutdown's here.
We'll do Psychmon / floodgates.
Oh, but then floodgates have the same. It's like for every memory that a tamer prints, a floodgate can stop.
Yeah, like you spend 3 to turn off a
mem blocker.
You spend 3 to turn off a training. That does not feel like a worthwhile trade. Obviously, the longer the trainings have to sit there, then fantastic, obviously. But like you are up front spending 3 to deny 2 cost reduction. Which I would say of the floodgates, obviously it's relevant now, but it's the least. It's the one that you see rotated out the most. Maybe because not everywhere has it. Like not every color has it, but I'd say like memory blockers in formats where blue and purple are good are probably more impactful. But yeah, like you said, like Death X physically cannot be played if there's a floodgate. Like so I'd say the Psychmons are the most impactful floodgate.
Counterpoint. The Polymon stop you from playing cards entirely. Whereas you can still theoretically play a Death X-Mon if you get past the 10.
Yeah, it's a great pick.
Yeah, they do just beat the fuck out of some decks. Yeah, you're right. Pomomon is the floodgate. The floodgate.
I'll move below, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. It's not out yet, but it is officially revealed in English. Doomsday Clock.
No.
No.
It wins the game.
It's so slow.
It wins the game. Okay, it wins the game when you have 4 of them, not when you have 1 of them.
Yeah, so when you spend
3 in security, 1 from your hand.
Win the game.
3 in security, 1 in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. In theory, yes. If you were on,
they don't play themselves out of security, fellas. That's not what the card does.
Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, that is 12. When we get to the 12 memory,
you have to use the Diaboromon to spit it out, I suppose.
Yeah, it's in theory, yes. If it was the 4th one, it is the best 3 memory in the game. But the setup is just not there. It's funny though.
Alrighty, I hear you.
Should we try and cut some of the cards that get dono walled by particular situations? Like, I like Veemon, but he does die to a floodgate.
Same with Armageddon.
Ruin mode also does beat the shit out of this card.
Armageddon is in the middle block.
Yes, he is.
He's the same problem. He loses to 2 sets of floodgates.
Metal Greymon famously gets
same floodgate problem.
Yeah. I love that they're all around Pomomon. It's just like getting rid of them. Technically, Awakening is also stopped by Kokuamon, but
wait, does it actually?
Yeah, because you can't ignore Digivolution requests. Yeah,
it does ignoring its requirements. That's right. I always forget which one say that wording.
It's because it lets you do Magna on top of Magna, for example.
That's like one of the only weird. Yeah, Kokuamon's like, I always think that card is so niche, but like his applications are surprisingly niche. It like beats Biomerge and that.
Who's playing Kokuamon in this meta?
The Nume.
In this meta, none. But in 17, the what's it called? Numemon players played a lot because it beats Ancient.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's surprisingly relevant, and Nume unfortunately has not been jettisoned into the sun. When you see this as a free member who has not joined the champion tier, please let us know what it's like not having to deal with Numemon or Patamon or whoever else is up for the Hibachi chef.
Cards have definitely been banned, right, guys?
Smile. Does Double Typhoon come up for conversation? Because yes, you get the free
cards
search,
are so strong,
but its delay does get stopped by Pomomon.
It depends if you want it like.
The Mem Boost gets stopped by Mem Blockers.
True, the Mem Boost didn't even make the list.
Well, yeah, it's just because I don't think they're as good as Double Typhoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to put the point across as well that Terriermon has ways of outing floodgates fairly easily.
Oh my god, it can spawn a floodgate Terriermon.
Yeah, you're right. A double typhoon is recognizing that I don't have to see the terriermon evolve in raising. Like that joint is just it's live whenever.
I am gonna go out on a limb here because I'm trying to resist. Like the thing, I learned card games when I was a little kid. I had family friends who were adults who were really into Magic, and they were like, "Here's how value works. Here's what card advantage means." And I was like, "Wow, I'm gonna win my Pokemon locals now." And the thing I can't stop thinking about is like value, tempo, like card advantage, like the core philosophies of like what makes a card's assessment easy to do. And with the interest of not just falling into an infinite, because the mem gauge is the thing that makes it all different. With the interest of not just falling into an infinite loop of that, I actually think both from value and from tempo that Double Typhoon is probably the strongest thing on here, because it hypothetically can represent Memblock or Terriermon, but also in a tempo situation it can produce any number of cards. Your opponent has to figure out which one you're spitting out, and it searches.
Yeah, like,
and anything it searches into is very good.
Sure,
like just remembering Memblock or Terriermon has changed my opinion on it entirely.
Yeah, like obviously, technically it's spending more memory, but being able to facilitate a jump scare Terriermon that lets you jump scare with a fucking tamer is ridiculous.
Also spawns a lot more that gives anything alliance. So that's just an extra damage from
spontaneous damage. Yeah, like
spawns a HPE body.
Like obviously it's a 2-card.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you're right.
I love that. Need to play it again.
I think right now it's really, can anything contest with that? I think that like actual
Veemon. That's it, in my opinion. Pokemon. I guess Pangea potentially, but then that's like a multi-card level of like what assess do you like give to
I think Pangea requires more steps than Double Typhoon. Because Double Typhoon also searches the cards you're missing. Like if you're missing the Tamer, Pangea whiffs. If you are missing the Tamer and you slam Double Typhoon and you reveal Memblocker, like you reveal cards you need plus Tamer, problem solved.
Yeah, I'm happy to let Pangea go. Also, just to like reinforce the Pomu / Pillowmon argument, we saw it won Worlds, right?
Yeah,
it literally manhandled the Levia matchup.
Yeah.
Okay. There was one last card. I took it off my own list, but now looking at the way this list is shaped up, the one card that I took off the list because I thought we'd talk about it for too long was Lament of Friendship.
Oh. That card really does just cost 3.
Yeah, and it represents, again, just from a card advantage and value perspective, it is completely broken.
It only brings back Digimon, right?
Yeah, but any color.
Right.
It does bring back a Pokemon.
Yeah.
True. And whilst you have Avenged Kidmon as well, it's like, it is. I mean,
if you add the Bushiagu back to hand to put it into security to spit it out for rush for game, like it does. You know, there's lots of decks that do stupid stuff with this now. Lament is broken.
I think if we can will this down to a top 5, I think right now we're all kind of in agreement that even if it makes it to a top 5, we're all gonna end up back on Double Typhoon.
I'm in that. Yeah, I could go with that.
The cool thing about doing paywall videos is the people that are paying for this are probably going to watch the whole thing. So like, for the free viewers that somehow managed to make it 50 minutes in and have decided that yes, the video is over, Double Typhoon is the winner. Thanks for making it 50 minutes in. Consider becoming a member so that way you can make that decision a month early. But I think we should hit 5. So that way people can complain about their card pick getting robbed by Double Typhoon.
Okay. I'm good with 5. I think we can narrow this down to 5.
But yeah, if we go into an infinite loop, we can just we're all in agreement. Double Typhoon is probably the best 3 memory in the English and slightly future format of the Digimon card game right now.
Right now. Yeah, right now.
Okay, so Dimension Scissor.
I will agree that we can take like all of the just infinite ones in a vacuum. I think we can remove from the context here. I'm good with that. So Kari, Takato, Dimension Scissor, I think they can all go. Emperor probably gets to stay.
Yeah.
Keep Kari on there because I think she represents a game plan for a deck that does have a win condition. So her printing more memory, but not doing damage, is still justifiable. Setcon basically is they want to win by decking you out, right? But she represents more efficient recovery, more disruptive opponents doing damage.
Yeah, it was an
point.
interesting one, like the same reason Digimon Emperor is on here, and if we were going to do 4 in this episode, spoilers we're not, it changes the way you play. I was going to argue, I guess, little teaser for 4, I was going to argue that Sorajo is one of the most impactful 4-cost tamers. They're not a memory setter, but like it changes the way how you have to play the game, otherwise 2 memory shows up. Also, aces now make that card like just not well designed, but like Kari disincentivizes Chip. She because all second players are on yellow, she is your purple source, which then enables things like Lament and other heinous stuff like Chaos Deck. Like, so she, in addition to forcing your opponent to play the game completely differently, also allows you to play the game differently. So she's really hard to cut. I do agree.
I'm good to leave Kari on there. I think she's probably, I mean, if there was a deck that was allowed to just be like, my hypothetical infinite value exists, you should probably give it to Saikon.
Also, the name Kari is really important. If Digimon really Emperor was called Ken,
holy,
maybe, but I really want Digimon Emperor on this. Like,
give Imperial nothing else, bro. I'm done with that deck.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Bandai's favorite son, and he's like, but Greymon got a card this year. When?
So I reckon Emperor's probably going to get over Kari. I think Kari, obviously Rev of Light is what the name is important in that regard, because Rev of Light for Secon does just read, there's nothing for security anyway, recovery 1, if you attack my security or trash it, ruin most of your board.
Yeah.
But Digimon Emperor in this, if we're talking current state of the game, does so much. Like the amount of quality level 3s that do just read on promote, basically win the game.
Yeah,
is just insane.
I think once Ukomon gets sent to the fucking USSR space station, then Kari takes our tamer slot as like best 3 memory tamer. But yeah,
I've just had a stupid thought, which is I don't know why I should have left Lament on my little sticky note here, because you know what else costs, or you spend 3 to do? You spend 3 to drop a Pokemon.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you do.
He's like on the restriction. I don't know. There's a lot of like contextual.
Yeah, the problem with the Apocalypse is obviously like you need all 3 pieces, and Apocalypse is also now you need 5 pieces because you need them in the trash, and then you need to load your Belphemon to make it invincible and mill 10.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So I think he is a very, very, very big investment, whereas dropping Lament really doesn't cost much to bring back your Apocalypse.
What about Anubis?
He costs 4 to evolve.
Does he cost 4 to evolve?
The one-off costs 4 to evolve. My fun one costs 3 to evolve, and then it's you're off the races. But like realistically, that deck is also like when you're evolving into Anubis for 3, you're probably gaining 2 back off your inherit, so you're never actually evolving for 3.
Yeah, in my head I was always like, don't pass them 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Ollie. Okay. No, it's not. It's not even close. The thing is, like, if you try and scrape everything else up, it's just like nothing is as like the things that are in that top bubble there of like Double Typhoon represents Search plus Infinite plus Floodgate, which is nuts. Omimon is the best Floodgate. Lament is the best card in Digimon. Ukomon and Kari. Bleh. Everything else that's not those is crazy hypothetically, but just is not like one card that jumped to my brain there was BT16 Wormmon, because he does technically represent all the way up to Fighter Mode Ace. Sorry, to Fighter Mode Virus. Like you just do it off one card, but like again, yeah, it is a 1 card combo. But it requires the things to be where they are, like Apocalypse. So, but like I think the things we've got there are either the 5 that are the most crazy, or are how do I put this? They're like the 5 kinds of cards that are allowed to be the most crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the only ones I'd argue, like Savior, obviously very cool, but I think he's kind of the same as Mamemon, where no, I mean like Savior's obviously more consistent than Mamemon. Mamemon is gacha, potentially you can hit any cost tamer. Like the more expensive tamers they make, the more a random Mamemon technically prints value. But like he's way too situational. So I think he's like an easy cut. And it's like all of these have kind of been hovering and haven't been in contention. The only ones I feel like really have a shot of being like in the 5+1 is like these two, because they are just like unreactable. I think there's something to be said about unreactable damage in this game, where you just simply get diffed at like deck builder.
BT14 Numemon.
Rush Numes.
Yeah, Rush Numes.
It's literally just if turn 1, if you get past 3 memories, okay, here's a jamming damage.
Yeah, jamming damage then also facilitates 1 memory should you dare to play on the board. How could you?
Good.
Generic blocker inherit's also really big. And
also me. And the Nume X as well.
The Numemon.
I thought about Nume X. I actually did. I think the thing Nume X doesn't give you that some of the other like floaty recursive stuff does is that it's restrictive. Like Nume X feels on paper only as like hypothetical. Like the cap on what you can produce from a Numemon is whatever the most expensive Numemon in the game is, right? Like I guess +2 for platinum. So on paper there are better ways you can use a recursive body to float. But that being said, really annoying deck, and I don't like it. So
yeah, I think does BT14 Numemon actually just like?
I think it just because you pay free to play a rush body, then the tamer you spit out just like you say just prints a memory every time your opponent decides to play the game, as well as gives jamming for safe damage to the Monzai X that will do 2 checks at your security.
I think with the context of Satsuki, I would give it to Nume, but I think purely just Numemon X or like any of those cards as their package, I would still probably choose Beast Cyclone or Final Excalibur. Because he is 1 jamming chip or 1 block or whatever, or she is 1 memory per trigger, but like those are like pay the number for lethal is my thought.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes if they're playing Rush Nume for game for 3, it's the same as like getting Louis, I guess, where there's setup involved. And if you're getting it for free off of a float, then you're not paying the 3. But I almost want to give it to Beast Cyclone because it's the least obvious of them. Like BT14 Numemon, when you sit down and they flip their Tama and they hatch Ukomon and do their bullshit, you know that at some point there's a very likely chance that you're getting hit by BT14 Numemon. If they're wearing a bunch of anime merch and they flip the yellow egg and you see Diminimon come out, very likely that you're about to get hit by Final Excalibur after like a 10-second cutscene. Beast Cyclone is the most reach across the card and pick it up and say it does what now?
It's from what year? I like it. I'm good with that.
I really do like the BT14 Numemon thing, but I think just in terms of like just straight up like unreactable damage, like Final Excalibur is just like a hammer spot where you just go, well, fuck, I didn't think about that, and you die.
I'm glad that this got yeah, this is a good one. 3 is such a tough number. I know the only other thing when I was going through this, I just to preempt angry comments. The other card that I intentionally took off that I don't think it just isn't realistically as good as any of the stuff on here was Sayo & Co.
I thought about them as well
because they can conceptually spit out almost anything until they produce a level 7, like what's it called, Lightning Nightclaw Digimon. But like that level of like value manipulation is kind of tough to quantify, but also it was used to do the Infinite Galaxy loop, so toughy. But I don't think it's as good as these most of the time.
Yeah, and I think just how widespread these are. Like Sayo, if they weren't limited to their archetype, you'd probably have a case for like Sayo & Co. in some like Chimera focused decks might be able to print out something stupid. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with all this. Like Double Typhoon is like you're gonna be a stickler and we have to pick one. We're all in agreement for Double Typhoon. Omu was the best Floodgate. Lament should not be in the game. And then the Tamers is entirely dependent on when they kill Ukomon. Or Setcon. Whichever happens first. And then Beast Cyclone is our like... The Beast Cyclone is the pick that the jank enthusiasts from the first episode would have wanted us to put down.
I love them. I hope they're doing well.
You can see them at the case tournament, which if you're seeing this now...
Hi, members. You get a discount.
Yeah, was that juicy 10% off? Did it feel good? Yeah, thanks again for joining us, Tom. Does anyone have any last picks, or are we free?
No, I've closed my sticky note because like looking at the things I crossed through, they're not as good as these cards.
You look like you have a pick.
I'm trying to think. No, I'm trying. Is there anything? I don't think it's going to be a double typhoon though. Is the thing.
I can give you a jumping point. I took one of Doru Greymon off the list, Tom, if that helps you kind of inspire any kind of nightmares.
Yeah,
I just don't think he's as good.
I scrolled past him, but let's be real. That 3 cost is like he's an inherit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or he's a what's it called? He's 3 cost because he's sparking from the Doremon underneath and shit too.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty happy with our list. Double Typhoon, Pomu, Lament, BT4 Kari or BT8 Digimon Emperor, take your pick, and Beast Cyclo are the best 3 memory you can spend in the Digimon card game. I guess these will just be 1 memory now per thing, unless with like 7.
It'll get easier after a while. I think with like 5 and 6, it'll get easier again.
Yeah. 3,
Okay,
4.
I'm gonna throw you a spanner here.
Go on.
Yeah.
7 cost ones. You've got a lot of Davis to choose from.
I mean, there's Edda Valk, right?
Yeah.
Never mind.
not to just be like blah, whatever, but the other one is I mean, we talked about Laplace at that point too. It's like some game actions are hard to quantify because there's no equivalent. So like taunt is worth how much? How much is Blitz? Yeah. Like that's why I put Takato down, but whatever. I think the top 5 is correct because like literally my entire life, I don't know why I was like Double Typhoon's great because it's a net swing of 6. It's like that's really good for 3 memory, and I was like, well actually, it's 6 plus infinity if my opponent can't out terriermon. So GG's.
Yeah, or it produces random sec +1 that change the damage clock.
Or they biomerge with it. Like, there's so much stuff. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to say to the other members, Tom?
Yeah, tell more people to be members of this channel because it's super cool and you get to see more of these guys plus Marcio talk about content like this.
Yeah, and
you're gonna lose to Tom at the winner case. That'll be hype.
Yes, sir. You are going to get member diff.
Show up for your discount. Get member diffed.
Yeah, let us.
You can make the channel down anyway. GG.
Have you got these sleeves yet?
Sign the match slip. We'll call it an autograph.
Emily suggested we should sign the back of the top 4 mats.
If you wanna.
Yeah, we've got a silver sharpie.
Well, the members can let us know if that seems cheesy or not.
Yeah, you guys can also just let us know what other bonus content you want to see. Obviously, this series has legs, very long legs. But yeah, if there's any other ideas that can fill up the content bank, let us know, because we want to make what people want to see.
We also want to know your 4 least favorite green Digimon this week.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
green like on cards, like green like the color of the Digimon. If they are a green Digimon, let us know.
Yeah, that's our engagement one. Just give us green, boys.
Well, I'm hoping that if we narrow down the ones that people like, we can use that for the series that's coming up that we still can't talk about.
Yeah, that will. I'm starting on that as soon as we finish wrapping up the winner case.
Hooray!
But yeah, we're gonna wrap up this episode and let people go eat and exist as humans. Thanks for joining us again, Tom. Your socials will be floating above your head the whole time because that's what we do now.
All of his Twitter, he does speedrunning content. He never plugs any of it. I always try and lob him up for it, but I think it's cool.
I need to get back on it.
I like knowing speedrunners.
We found a new skit.
New skit, baby. Wake up.
I found a new skit.
Somebody text Muttley now.
Summoning Salt, like, yeah.
Where are you at? The history of wacky racist speedrunning.
That'd be hype.
All right. Thanks for joining us, gang.
See you later.